Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard Cisneros at your service. Today I'll be reading the July 12th Daily Inspirational Message. The condensed version is 2 paragraphs long. Then I'll center myself, say a little prayer, and then make a couple comments on the message. And if you find the message of use, please be so kind as to like the video. Thank you for that. Here we go. The title: The Ego's Imaginary Childish Games. Paragraph 1. As you notice people participating in the ego's illusionary mindset, you will see that their performance is like that of children playing imaginary games. When you see them as children playing games, this will not come from a sense of superiority, but from the understanding and belief in their eternal innocence. Now, if they judge you, you have no need to judge them back, because that would be like you defending yourself against a child's imaginary game. If they shape their little hands into guns, regardless of how many illusionary bullets they shoot your way, they cannot hurt you. Your choice not to defend yourself is a sign of knowledge and clarity, not a sign of superiority or weakness. Your inner certainty comes from knowing that you forever remained as God created you. Paragraph 2. Today, let us practice seeing those who judge us as simply asleep to their true loving nature, not as mean, bad, or evil. If we judge the people who judge us, then that just means that we ourselves are asleep. Today, let us awaken from the ego's dream. We do so by choosing to no longer sacrifice our time and energy to judging those who sleep. When judgmental thoughts come knocking at our mind's door, let us forgive them, and by doing so decline their entrance into our kingdom. Today, we become examples of the awakened mind by forgiving those who judge us. When we forgive others' delusions of us, in essence, we consciously align with only the truth within. When we align with our truth instead of our delusions, with love instead of fear, we let go of the silly, judgment-centered childish games that do not serve us or this world. All right. The ego's imaginary childish games. Okay. Today I'm going to make 3 points that I trust will assist us in the implementation of today's daily inspiration. Point number 1. First, let's imagine God being love and all. And so that's truth. And then we have another mindset, which tries to place itself in opposition to God, love, all, truth. And that's the ego's mindset. That's a programming that says that there can be an opposition to all. But obviously, if this is all, this must be nothing. If this is truth, this must be illusion. And so when the ego uses its tools, which it puts in opposition to, tries to place in opposition to love, then that's the ego's mindset. And so things such as any unloving thought or energy, such as anger, hate, resentment, jealousy, anxiousness, fear, doubt, all that stuff is just part of the ego's mindset. It's just programs that we have been taught as true. But because truth is just love, this must be nothing. And so today, in point number 1, our goal simply is to stop supporting thoughts in a way of thinking that is not supporting us. The way of thinking that supports us is the way of thinking that reinforces our true loving essence and nature. And all of love's expressions, aspects such as kindness, peace, charity, joy, compassion, healing, hope. So that's the truth within us. And so today in point number 1, we simply make a mental note that we're not going to support thoughts that are not supporting or reinforcing the truth within. And so if judgment or anger or resentment or those kind of thoughts come into our minds, we're simply going to stop them and we're going to say, no, today I'm not supporting you, and you practice doing the opposite of that. So if If judgment comes in, you stop it, and then you practice forgiveness. So that reinforces your true nature. So in essence, you're not reinforcing the child's imaginary game. You're reinforcing the truth within, not the fantasy. So that's point number one. Pay attention to which mindset you're supporting and reinforcing. Because whichever mindset you support and reinforce is what you will experience. Point number two. If somebody triggers us, let's say we lose our focus for a moment, and we lose our center, our loving nature for a moment, our loving thoughts. And let's say we're in a line in a supermarket, and somebody's a little bit slow, let's say. And the ego answers first and says, judge them, become frustrated and angry at their slowness, right? That's not what we're here to do. What we're here to do is simply to notice that we do not want to support the fantasy anymore. We do not want to support the childish games anymore. And anger, judgment, resentment towards that person who's a little slow is part of that fantasy. So if you support that fantasy as true, you just keep on judging and getting angrier and more resentful of that person. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to be the light of the world. And so we notice that whenever somebody triggers us, that's just an opportunity that's being presented to us by the universe to heal and to recenter ourselves, to reinforce who we truly are, to reinforce the truth, not the delusion, the love, not the fear-based thoughts. And so that's point number two. If somebody triggers us, we see it as simply an opportunity to practice reinforcing who in truth we are. We don't have to reinforce the delusion. And point number three is we now respond with gratitude towards our brothers and sisters who presented that situation to us. Because all the brother or sister in that little supermarket line did for me was to help me see that this way of thinking of judgment, anger, and resentment is not what I wanted. And the more I get to practice realizing that I don't want anger and judgment and resentment, I want forgiveness and peace and compassion. The more I get to practice going from the fairy tale, from the childish imaginary games to the truth within me, the more I reinforce my true nature, and the less time I spend in the imagination of the ego's mindset. And so that's point number three, is to simply be grateful to your brother and sister for being part of your healing and awakening process. Because anytime they seem to, as in point number two we said, trigger you, they're simply helping you practice realizing who you do not want to be, who you do not want to represent in this world. You don't want to represent judgment or anger or hatred or resentment or jealousy or guilt or shame. You don't want that. You want to represent the love that God created you to be, the truth, your loving truth, the light of the world that God created you to be. And so let us be thankful today in point number three for our brothers and sisters for being presented in our lives in a form that helps us realize who we are not. And now we can cross all those who we are nots out of our map, and that gives us a clear destination to who we truly desire to be. And the more we get to practice that, the less time we will spend in the delusion, and the more time we will spend reinforcing our true, loving, light, nature, and essence. Thank you very much for your time. I love you very much, and God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. Peace.